Good day. Welcome to Endurance Room. Hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to go through a couple things. I got something I want to show you on my Alice pack. Just a simple little add-on you can do to help improve the versatility a little bit. And then I'm going to show you a shelter setup with my tarp. It is the Adirondack Tarp shelter, and we're in the Adirondacks. It happens to be peak fall this weekend, so very beautiful, very nice. And then we're going to go through how to do the paper map. I promised you guys a couple weeks ago I'd show you how to do that, and today's a good day for it. Welcome to Endurance Room. All right, so Alice pack first. This is an old school LC1 Alice medium. I updated the shoulder straps for a little bit more padding, plus it gives me a sternum strap when I want to use it. But you'll notice I'm running this without the frame, but I have a sleeping pad attached to the bottom of it. I also have a waist belt. So how did I do that? Let me hang the pack up real quick and we'll talk about it. My sleeping pad is attached with a MOLLE 2 waist pack. I've just got it clipped onto the bottom of the Alice pack. This gives you the added versatility of having an extra container. So if you want to go set up your camp with your main ruck and then have a little day bag to take out into the woods to go hiking around with your essentials, it gives you that, plus a really nice way to attach your sleeping pad. And it's very easy on, easy off. You can tear down your camp and pack your bag really quick, get back on the trail, which I'm a really big fan of. It also gives you the added benefit of having a waist belt. So if you want to take some of the load off your shoulders, you can cinch it up. And you can use this to hold a sleeping bag, a tent, sleeping pad. You can wear it around your waist. You can wear it as a sling pack around your back. Great little bag, and for the money, it's a bargain. All right, let me throw up my tarp real quick. We'll talk about this Adirondack shelter. So this is my Aquaquest Defender tarp. It's 10 by 10. You could use other tarps for this. Preferably a square tarp is going to be your best option, and one with multiple tie outs. So first, I'm going to throw up my ridge line. Toggle. You can vary the height of the ridge line on the shelter. It's going to change the dimensions. I'm going to run it today, I'd say about solar plexus height on myself. All right, so our square tarp is laid out diagonally. And what we're going to do is make an Adirondack tarp shelter, which is a variation on the lean-to. Now, it's named the Adirondack tarp shelter because this shelter configuration is very reminiscent of some of the permanent shelters that they have at different campsites in areas like the high peaks around the Adirondacks region. It's basically a lean-to with side walls and a little bit of a peak out of the top. And that's what we're gonna do with the tarp. I've got the corner of my tarp. I've went in 1, 2 loops. Run my prusik loop through, drop the toggle. Do the same thing on the other side. And we're basically just going to mirror what we did at the ridge line. Now we're going to stake it tight by drawing tension, pulling diagonally. Stake it down. We do the same thing on the other side. Drawing diagonally from that prusik loop. Then we'll come around to the sides. Now you can run it just like this, but we're going to make a little bit more room on the interior by running a guy line. Now to do this, you're either going to need a tree behind you, or a limb, a branch, or a stake that is about equal height to your tie down. I'm just going to do a couple half turns around the stake. Now, lastly, around the front of the shelter, you can either run a guy line and pull this down. You could tie it off to a tree, or you could run another stick just like we did at the back and suspend it to give you some height, kind of like a small plow point type shelter. For our purposes today, we can also just simply throw it back over the top and we're good. The Adirondack Tarp shelter. Just to give you an idea of the interior space, this ground sheet is about 7 feet long by 3.5 feet wide. So I've got room for myself, my gear. I could put this in the back or on the sides, no problem. Plenty of space. If it starts cooling off, you can bring this top down, stake it down, helps close it up a bit. And the lower you go with this, the more you're able to bring the sides around and close it in. So really cool tarp shelter, kind of fun. And we are in the Adirondacks after all, and it's a great fall shelter. The Adirondack Tarp shelter. All right, let's talk maps. If you guys have been following along, we've gone out and shot 2 land navigation videos in the past couple of weeks. The first one was a big one where we kind of covered everything you needed to know for today, except for how to convert your pace to meters. And to do that, you simply divide 100 by your pace count. Then you take that number and multiply it by your individual data entries. So for my example, my pace count is 60 paces per 100 meters. I would simply divide 100 by 60, which gives me 1.67. So every pace is 1.67 meters for me on average. And then I just take my pace count for each of the locations in my notepad and I multiply them by 1.67 to convert those numbers to meters. Really easy to do with a calculator. It takes no time at all. And then once you do that, you can make your map to whatever scale you want, which is really cool because a lot of commercial maps, you know, they cover a much larger area than most people are probably frequenting. So you can have a much more closed-in perspective of your specific area than a commercial map is likely going to give you, which could be very valuable. You can know your area, your land inside and out by being able to do this. To make your paper map, you're going to need your map data, which we went out and collected in video 1. We've got location, azimuth, back azimuth, pace, and meters. And if you follow along video 1 and you're able to make a pole map, this is going to be really easy for you. It's the same thing. So we need a relatively flat surface, free of metal. This will be our map. And before we can start putting down our information, we need to orient it to the north. So we take our compass, put it at 0 degrees. We lay the compass down on the edge of the paper and rotate the paper to where we got the red in the shed. And then use some painter's tape or something and tape it down, lock it in place so it's not going to move. Because if the map surface twists, all of your data is going to be off. It's going to be skewed. Just make sure it's not going to move. But I'm just going to show you guys how to do this and keep it simple. So let's make our legend. Now let's say we've got a road here, right? And it's running east to west. And you park your car, you know, right here. And your car is going to be your starting point. And say you headed into the woods, you know, 150 meters to the north. So you would lay your compass down using your car at the road as the starting point. And 150 meters is going to be 3 centimeters. You then turned northeast 60 degrees. All you do for your next point is lay that down, rotate the compass to put the red back in the shed. You went 50 meters, which is 1 centimeter. And voila, you're making your map. Then you walked 40 degrees northeast, 25 meters, which would be half a centimeter. You put the edge of the ruler at the location, rotate the compass, so the red is in the shed. There you go. And then say 10 degrees northeast, say 200 meters, which would be 4 centimeters. And then you headed off to the west, 100 meters. And then you went due west for 150 meters. Kind of looks like a question mark. So here's our car. This was our starting point. We came into the woods, headed due north, kind of went off to the east, northeast, and then we started heading off to the west, kind of circling around. And we found a cool spot, so we were going to make our camp here. X marks the spot. And then from this point, you can start going out and collecting data. And say over here, you found some birch trees. And then over here, you found water. Over here, you found pine. And then this is your camp, right? So you use your compass to draw all that in and plan these new routes, all from this location. This really isn't hard to do. This is basically what we did with the Paul map. As you go out and explore and find new resources, new locations, you can add them to it and then start building out your map. And then when you get points like off over here, instead of like retracing your steps all the way back, you can simply take your compass and plot a new route back to wherever it is you want to go. You can go from A to B to C to Z and then back to A without having to retrace all of your steps. Right on. I hope that all made sense. We kind of covered a lot of stuff there, but the only way to really get good at this is to just actually go out and practice it for yourself and just start simple. You know, walk around your block, you know, count your paces, get the azimuth for it, and then draw it out on paper. It's that easy. And then go out to the woods and try it in a more, you know, difficult environment where you're taking shorter steps and you're shooting more azimuths, and it'll get much more interesting for you. And then when you're actually going out and applying it to your area and seeing what it is you're actually working with, where you're traveling, where certain locations and features are at, it gets really cool. So I hope this helps. It gives you some ideas. If you got any questions about what we just talked about, let me know down below and I'll try and help you out. But we did a lot of stuff today. We did the map, we did the Adirondack Tarp shelter, and the Alice Pack mod update with the MOLLE 2 waste pack. So pretty cool. Hope you guys are all good. You're having an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Cheers, everybody.